Hi travelers, Tara here. I hope you guys can hear me. I've had laryngitis for the past week, so that is why I've been kind of silent on you guys. And yesterday was worse than before, but I woke up this morning and it's a little bit better. So I'm going to come to you today with the a full moon lunar eclipse open reading. If you've been with me a while, then you know that eclipses tend to hide things you can't see. The sun sits opposite the moon in the sky on a full moon. When there's a new moon, it sits right next to the sun. So that's why it's a dark moon. We can't see, right? You don't see the moon during a new moon. It's a dark moon. It's at the beginning of a new moon phase. So we're going to try to see what's going to come on the other side. We're going to try to see. I'm going to be using the Rider-Waite deck. And I don't know, since I don't know what the cards are going to be speaking about, I have several other decks here for some clarification. Website members, I have not had an opportunity to start the monthly individual tarots, but I will be starting those tomorrow, so I ask you to please bear with me. And thank you guys so much. Those of you who have been writing me about the 30-day membership, there is no need to cancel that. It will automatically cancel after 30 days. So I suggest that, if just completely use that 30 days up. And then if you don't want to come back, then you don't have to, right? For others of you who joined me under the Facebook membership, that offer does expire on the 31st. And you are free to either upgrade or downgrade, however you choose to work it. I've got a lot of things going on, some new products that I'm going to be bringing out to you guys. Just give me a minute. Okay, so let's... Those of you who have purchased those Akashic Records readings for this eclipse, that's a really good thing for you, I think. Because eclipses are really these energetic portalways, these energetic doorways. And what they do is they allow you to help eclipse out negative people and situations, and try to help you move forward if you've been feeling stuck in any way. Now, the effects of an eclipse can play out all the way up to even as far as 19 years. The eclipse that we're going to be having, I don't know what the date is today, the 30th, tomorrow, will be falling at 11 degrees, 39 minutes Leo. Now, if you remember, we had the major eclipse back on August 21st, the Great American Eclipse. This eclipse today, on the 31st, will pass over that eclipse, will pass over that spot. So for some of you, something may have been activated that hasn't come to light yet. For others of you, depending on your age, this eclipse falling at 11 degrees 39 minutes Leo will go all the way back to the January 31st eclipse of 1999. That also fell, I think it was at 11 minutes 58 Leo. So it will harken all the way back to 1999. So for some of you, this is going to be the end of one of your 19-year phases and a movement into a new phase and a new level. Okay? That's how eclipses work. And we really don't ever know what the full effect of an eclipse is going to be. So for those of you who have your charts, if you got the newsletter that I sent out, go ahead and check your chart for any factors falling at 11 Leo. And then if you don't have anything at 11 Leo, then look to see what else you may have at 11 degrees in the sign and the house, because that's going to make an aspect to the eclipse. Okay? So let's go ahead and get the cards down. Crikey, I can't see anything. Hold on one second. Okay. Here we go. Gonna put one more good shuffle on these. God, I apologize for my voice. It's bad. Okay, 9 cards down. Here we go. Queen of Wands, Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, oh wow, Two of Coins, Seven of Cups, that's interesting, wow, Six of Pentacles, the Strength card, the Seven of Coins, wow, and the Nine of Coins. Now, let me take a look what's under the deck. Wow. The Five of Cups. But this is our overall energy. It's not the end of the reading. This is not the outcome. I can't promise you an outcome in a reading. I can give you the energy surrounding it, but the outcome depends on many different variable factors. What do you have going on in your life? Who are you involved with? What are your choices and your options? What are the choices and the options of the other person or the other people or that are happening, and what do they have going on in their life? Now, I have 2 2s and 2 7s. That's interesting to me. And this is definitely, I'm looking at a fire sign female, so I'm looking at Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But also, this could be any female in which this situation. And the reason why you would show up as a Queen of Wands would be the idea or the fact that maybe you have a strong personality. You are more alpha driven. You are a business owner. You're vivacious. You have an entrepreneurial spirit. So this could play out in many ways. Also, if you are a male but identify more with the feminine energy, this could also be about you. Now, right in the center, I have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups can play out 2 ways. This is either the idea or the concept. Let's say if this is in a business context, you've been brainstorming about ideas and you've got so many of them, you can't figure out which one is the right one to choose. You're trying to determine what is the best option or the best way through. Now, I do see for some of you, this is a financial issue. Maybe for some of you, money has been kind of tight for a while. Maybe you've been trying to juggle even 2 jobs. And you're like, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. Maybe you've been operating or feeling that in taking those 2, a second job, that's going to help you to, I don't know, attain a bit more of the things that you want. But also this Seven of Cups is that card about sometimes just dreaming about things and not doing them, fantasizing about things but not really doing anything about it. Okay? Now, I will admit, we all have a need to take a bit of rest. And it is also always good to imagine and fantasize. That is how you bring forth your manifestations. You visualize these things. But sometimes the Seven of Cups can be that idea or that concept of just being really confused about what you want and where you want to go. So, 2 2s speak to a commitment or marriage or an engagement. Now, if this is not about a romantic situation, what is when you go to work for somebody and you sign on with them, you do the new hire paperwork, fill all of that, you have in effect entered into a committed relationship with that particular group or organization. Right? But 2 2s also speak to a need to have harmonious communications, and there's some kind of option or choice that you have. We see that there's a bunch of confusion surrounding this. We don't know. This card really just says to me, the 2 of Swords, I don't know what to do. And in effect, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm just not, it doesn't feel right, but I don't see any other option, right? But that's an illusion. That's what the swords represents: thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and ideas. And the reason why I say it's an illusion is because sometimes we can naysay ourselves into either doing something or not doing something, right? It also speaks to me about, I think you have an eye forward. You can't tell with this card looking at it from here, but she doesn't have her left eye covered very well. So this could also be an indication of you do know exactly what's going on, but you are trying to, wait it out, so to speak. 2 sevens can speak to false friends, but also 2 sevens speak to inequality or self-esteem issues in the relationship, might be causing some issues. And I find that to be really strange because of the last row, which is really all about strength. Here's that Leo card that I'm talking about. And in effect, this line of the 2 of swords, the 7 of cups, and the strength card are speaking to me in a roundabout way about the eclipse. Something being obscured, something we're not sure what's coming on the other side. So maybe there's no worry here. I don't really see any worry here. But it is a question about what do I do and where do I go and how do I really feel and what do I want. That's what I'm picking up. The strength card is about taking a risk. Sometimes, even if we don't necessarily foresee an outcome or a way through, we can't sit on the fence for too long, because ultimately, eventually that situation may completely fall apart. It becomes a tower situation, right? And if you feel like you've been stuck, and I don't see anybody feeling stuck here, but if you feel like you've been feeling stuck with that devil energy, kind of like the Lenormand, you got the mountain in front of you. Instead of trying to climb the mountain at a direct route, you're going to have to figure out another way. Maybe you got to walk around it, okay? But it's an 8. So it's not only about taking a risk, but it's also about conquering your fear. And I think for some of you, this Queen of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and this Strength card has literally been the idea or the concept that you have been juggling lots of projects, juggling lots of things, maybe working 2 jobs, and you really have had to dig deep and take that risk. Okay, I got to do this. All right, I'm going to have to do this. I don't really know how this is going to turn out for me, but I can't continue to sit on the fence. For others of you, I feel that you are perhaps leaning one way towards a decision, and in one respect that to take that particular decision, it's actually going to kind of put you in a good place. The whole key is to remain disciplined and focused. For some of you, I feel that you've been waiting for a long time for something to come in. This is the harvest. Maybe you've been investing your money. Maybe you've been saving up towards something, and trying to forego this illusion. I have a saying, discipline is the difference between what you really want and what you want right now, okay? And so sometimes that is about ignoring all of those distractions that come in. Do I really need to get my weave? Do I really need to spend more money on that new pair of shoes when I already got another 40 pair in the closet? Do I really need to go out and buy myself a new car? Or can I just kind of fix up my old car and keep it running for a little while longer? Why? Because maybe you've got something else that you really want to do, to invest in. I do feel for some of you this is a financial issue. Now down the center I have the Ace of Swords. That's a yes card. Aces are always yeses, but excuse me, They represent opportunities. This is an opportunity for you to either get clear on what it is you want to do and how you're going to do it. Maybe you've been dealing with Rudy Poot ass people for the longest time, and now you finally come to the realization, you know what? I'm going to have to do this myself. Okay? Because the Seven of Pentacles is the card about waiting for the harvest to come in. And it's funny, I got 2 Pentacles here, I got 6 Pentacles there, then I go to 7 Pentacles, then I go to 9 Pentacles. So I am looking at an increase. But I also feel that this comes after some kind of loss, or at least some kind of understanding that you're going to have to let something go or leave something behind. And that many of you have been having difficulty with I don't know, you've been grappling with this issue. Now, sometimes I see when the Five of Cups shows up with the Seven of Cups, it could be that you yourself have been dealing with some kind of substance abuse issues, or even, you know, shopping addiction, gambling addiction, or maybe you're dealing with someone who has that, a family member. I don't see any court cards here, except for the Queen. Now, it's the Six of Pentacles that stands out the most, because this is a card of charity, financial flow, and give back. Having enough to share with other people. But at the same time, the card also asks you to look at how you've been doing the giving. And if you're not getting back at least, let's say, close to what you've been giving out, then there's a balance that's not there, right? See, he's holding the scales. And to me, this is the relationship. The scales represent Libra. That's the relationship. If I'm not mistaken, the Two of Swords represents the energy of Saturn in Libra. And this is that heavy feeling surrounding relationships. Maybe some of you have a choice between two new partners. Maybe these are 2 new males. Maybe it's between a male and a female. Maybe it's 2 job options. Maybe it's 2 housing options. Maybe it's 2 major finance investments. But then, in effect, it's like that other 2 comes out. See the 2 cups in the back? I think that some of you are wondering if you are going to move. Some of you may have had to travel, or you're not sure that you're going to be traveling, or that for some reason that you maybe you're, you know, commuting back and forth. I don't know. And the reason why I say that is because I got these ships here. But it says that in a sense you're just kind of doing it. You're not really giving it a whole lot of thought. Your mind may wander off for a little while, and you fantasize or you dream about things being different. But you're just kind of on automatic pilot. Now, this lady, the Nine of Pentacles lady, is that lady who has really, through very dedicated hard work, focus, and determination, has really built something for herself. There's the harvest. You know, you've been toiling that soil and planting those seeds and doing that work, despite all of this Seven of Cups stuff. And we finally see that eventually there's the look, there's the lemon ascate over her head. Well, it's the same lemon ascate that he's holding in the Two of Cups. The 8 turned on its side. Infinity. This is the loop back. That's the North Node and the South Node. This is the eclipse going all the way back to 1999. So again, it's this concept or this idea that this is a change coming. And maybe on one level, some of you feel it. Maybe on a logical level, you know that there needs to be a change. Maybe you've been speaking to people about a change, but not really sharing your ideas or information. Maybe you haven't even, excuse me, formulated one, but you know something has to change. I think you're going to be given an opportunity to do so. I think that many of you are coming from a place of perhaps just, it's this Three of Cups that keeps standing out. So I don't know, because sometimes I see the Six of Coins show up like the player card, even though I don't see another court card here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull cards, first of all, on this Two of Swords. And then I'm going to pull cards on the Seven of Cups. Because we see we go from complete not doing anything to tossing around a bunch of ideas to finally just saying, okay, screw it. I got to do it. And maybe that's what the Seven of Pentacles is. You know, you've been pussyfooting around or sitting on the fence for so long, and then finally you just realize, okay, I just got to do it. But you know that involves leaving in some things and or people and or situations behind, right? All right, so let's look at this Two of Swords here. And this will, in effect, maybe perhaps determine what kind of reading this is. I think this can cover, excuse me, many situations. Wow. 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 Exactly. You've been waiting around, unsure that whatever it was you've been feeling or you've actually been saying, those hints you've been picking up, they weren't real, right? Surely this wouldn't happen. Surely that person wouldn't do that to me. I can't believe it. Well, you waited too long. The disgrazia, an extreme misfortunate event. The letterato, a discovery. And the thief, the negative change. Something got taken away from you. But then you even took something from yourself by not trusting what your intuition was telling you. Now the clarity comes. You know, I always tell you guys, try not to make any decisions 3 days before or 3 days after an eclipse, because there's something that you don't see. Okay? There's something you can't see. And when it's a full moon, the emotions are heightened. So you don't want to be making decisions based around heightened emotions. Be that anger or sadness or fear, jealousy, whatever that is. You don't want to make those kinds of, you want to be as clear-headed as you possibly can be. And for some of you, you may have to bide your time and wait. Okay? You've already waited, in a sense, too late to rectify this situation, but now you've got to figure out how to rebalance yourself. Okay? Or at least put yourself on a level, even playing field. Remember, we're talking about false friends, the 2 sevens. Conversations. Gran Signore. And the Morte. Well, for some of you, this is the idea that a relationship or negotiations with perhaps a water sign. He represents the King of Cups. The Gran Signore has come to a complete end. And in fact, it is a transformative situation. But yet you're still trying to maybe even figure out, what did you miss? Where did you go wrong? Was I deceiving myself? Did this person deceive me? 6 of Coins. How am I going to make it through? Well, calm those fears. Because if you break up around an eclipse, consider that shit a done deal. That person's not supposed to be in your life. And the next time that you'll get an opportunity to perhaps go back, which I don't recommend, is 6 months from the date of the eclipse. But I don't recommend that you do that. That person's being eclipsed out for a reason. The letter. Sospiri. Sacerdote. You're waiting for a letter from either some kind of mediator, mediator or counselor, a healer. Maybe you've been talking to your priest or your pastor, but you're longing to hear, or maybe this is just referring to that you guys broke up, the things. So now you're waiting for this man, the single man, to contact you again. But look, it says that's out of balance because why? He's busy doing something else. Now, whether he's working and doing good works, charitable works, or whether he's, working, doing other things with other people, if you get my drift, remains to be seen. That's quite interesting. Well, formulate one question. I'm going to pull a romance angel card. And for some of you, this has not occurred. For others of you, this you might be right in the middle of it. For some of you, this has already started. For the rest of you, this may be coming up on the other side of the eclipse. A lot of people assume that, when I say that, like shit happens on the day of the eclipse or right after. No, it doesn't. All things happen in divine timing of the universe. Time in the universe, in fact, doesn't even exist. Okay? It's a man-made construct. So up in the the seventh dimension, there is no linear time. That's what we created here in the third dimension to know when to go to sleep, when to get up, when to go to work, when to eat, okay? When to till the crops, when to harvest. And in a way, that's what that's telling you, the time for your harvest. Perhaps you have been planting those seeds and tilling that soil, and you have finally realized that soil has gone fallow. You're going to have to move on, okay? And I think the eclipse is trying to help some of you, even though you don't see it that way. A lot of you come to me swearing that your ex is your soulmate. And so that makes you not want to let go. Well, in effect, that person can be your soulmate, but that doesn't mean that's the person you're supposed to be having a relationship with. And as soon as the lessons between you and that soulmate have been learned and integrated, they are supposed to fall away so that a new soulmate can come in and teach you some new lessons and take you another few steps on your journey. This is the romance of a lifetime. Well, if you're waiting on somebody to come back to you and that person left you for somebody else, that ain't true love. And you can't take on anything new while you're still hanging on to something old. True love. You pull this card because true and lasting love is here for you. If your question was about a specific person, then this card serves as validation of the relationship's divine nature. Listen now, divine nature. It doesn't say lifetime relationship. It says divine nature. This individual has genuine love for you, and you both can overcome the issues that arise. This is especially the case if you can express your feelings through attributes such as kindness, compassion, and courtesy toward each other. For instance, having honest conversations, remember we saw that conversation card, that shit is done, is an expression of your true love, even if it involves discussing uncomfortable topics. If you're comfortably seeking a relationship, this card offers you assurance that true love is on its way. Keep the faith that a wonderful relationship is destined to come to you. And don't compromise with an unsuitable partner. Let me read that to you again. Keep the faith that a wonderful relationship is destined to come to you. And don't compromise with an unsuitable partner. It is essential that you treat yourself well by taking excellent care of yourself, for the foundation of a true love relationship is two people who cherish who they are. So this is about learning to love yourself first before you can get that true love. And if you're pining away for somebody who has walked out on you or cheated on you or stolen stuff from you or whatever the case may be, that was a relationship of a lifetime. But, you know, you're still living, and you're going to have to figure out how to move to the next phase. So I hope those messages helped. And until next time, namaste.